Last time on the Incorrigible Party. The day after dinner at the castle, the party receives instructions to meet that night at the buyer's market, where Zalmo shows them some of the additional benefits allotted to those in his employ, before producing an extensive contract for the party to sign.
I'm just going to keep on reading down through the contract, and I start putting my finger on each word as I'm going along, because, this is not my first language, and I'm sort of, what's that word there mean?
That's gold.
Oh! Yeah, I know what that is.
Well, I don't think I have any objections to this contract. It seems pretty fair and just like we discussed, really.
I don't usually join clubs that aren't like arts and crafts, but this seems like the only way to get happy back, and I just want to finish what I started, Catch that bread battle and just, we deserve to keep our heads here in Stormkeep.
Hey, what's this right here, D? It says we have to write stuff up, and is there some kind of, I'm not much of a writer.
Yeah, you don't have to be the one to write. It's okay.
I don't expect anything entirely extensive. It does not need to be reams and reams of play-by-play of every task I give you, but I'm simply putting a self-evaluation in each of your hands that I will use after each task has been completed or failed to decide if the contract serves both parties.
Fair enough.
So it says here that Kylia Seychadal's duties and obligations to the castle cease upon signing this contract.
It does?
Yeah, it does. This is about your freedom. You retain your right to visit and inhabit the castle as you see fit. Here's the issue I have. Is that just for 6 months, or is this boom, all-encompassing? Because, here's the thing. It's a 6-month contract, right? But is Kylia's freedom guaranteed?
You keep using the word freedom. I do not enslave my children.
Independence. Sorry.
As you see, this clause in the contract does not reference any type of termination date. It was a condition of signing in the first place. It will persist after the contract has been fulfilled.
Okay, I like that, Kylia. This is good. Here, give me that quill.
Hey, it said, you mentioned before, you're gonna call on us and we need to be made available, immediately, I guess. How are you gonna call on us? How do we know you need us?
Well, I will know where you live.
Yeah, but say I'm busy, I'm in a fight or something. Is there some kind of am I getting a note sent to me that said, hey, good to see ya? Do you got a little rock that you're gonna send me a message on? I mean, what's our communications? How are we gonna get communicated with?
I suppose that depends on the importance of the task. If it is incredibly important, perhaps I'll show up in person to the keep, to your dwelling. If not, I'll simply send written instructions via Caster's carrying service.
Good to me.
We'll get him. I've been able to reach Rumpke from time to time. Does his thing, but it's all good, Rumpke. And I look at you with a furrowed brow and a quill in my hand. And Opal will sign her name on the dotted line.
Well, Mr. Zalmo, as I've said, it makes me very nervous having to go back to the jail, especially as our first job, but I think this contract seems pretty fair. So I think I'm going to sign.
And I reach my hand out for Opal to hand me the quill when she's done.
It's all yours, buddy.
And I sort of lick the tip of the quill, and then
Oh, good. Doesn't taste very good.
and then I'll sign my name below Opal's.
Yeah, sign my name too, Hellcrook.
Yeah.
Rumkey, I don't think that quite works that way for contracts. Here you go.
All right, I take the quill. Why not? It's only 6 months. And sign my name.
Excellent. I will have a copy of the contract in addition to your signing bonus delivered to the keep immediately. Now, if you'd like to partake in the auction, you're certainly free to do so. You have each handed in your own green chip. I believe I will take my leave. As he rolls up this copy of the contract, tucks it back into his vest.
Where do we get our possessions back?
At the top of the stairs, simply recall them from the chest.
I am kind of curious what they sell other than vests that are really expensive. Wanna go listen?
I don't have any pressing plans. Tonight we could hang around for a little bit.
No, we need to get our stuff back.
I don't mind watching. Just keep your hands down.
Yeah, just 30 minutes, Kyleo. It's not like we have money to blow. Or sterlings, I guess, whatever.
She's like rubbing her chest where the potion or the genie bottle usually sits.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, just a few minutes.
Yeah. I know you feel like you're missing something.
All of our stuff is in there. Everything we own is in there.
What about, okay, question. Is Seishodal here still or not?
I am here.
Oh, okay, so you don't really need the bottle.
Well,
I'm sorry you're feeling sassy. Maybe we can get over our differences, Seishodal.
I would like that very much.
Yeah, I know how you're feeling right now, Carly. I had to put in something that means a lot to me as well.
What was that you put in there?
Well, that's really all I have left of my mother. It was hers.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so, yeah, but we'll get it back. We'll just be a little bit longer.
Ooh, what's that? And I, go stand in the back row.
A touching story, Mr. Tread. I've nothing to remember my parents by, and I'm not sorry for it.
Oh, well. Yeah, okay.
Not quite as touching.
Yeah, I mean, Opal's a little disillusioned with having an eternity of family members around all the time.
Hey, let's go out and listen to that guy talk real fast.
One last thing, Rumpke. Now that you are officially under my employ, I imagine you would want to get to finding Constable Lilton very quickly.
I suppose.
Tomorrow night, simply be at the northernmost point of Storm Cave Bay. There you will meet with Mr. Nedbull. He will provide you with your inmate garments and the boat with a map to get to the entrance into the prison.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Come look at this stuff, it's crazy!
He will nod to each of you and then he will take his leave.
See you, boss.
Opal, why don't you roll me a D100?
96.
You see those two workers wheel, or one of them is carrying out this very large shield.
That thing's as big as me.
Whoa.
It looks like, so it's like a rectangular shape, but it's kind of got, each corner has been cut out like in a curve and in the very center of it is kind of like this. It's in the shape of a cross, but it doesn't look like it's meant to be like that type of symboling. The left and right kind of crisscross bar of it's kind of come to this point and looks more like they're jagged. And you can hear the auctioneer calling this, titling this a Servarian's Shield as he again lists off its properties and starts to begin the auction. You can see this one very clearly like it's a named item. The amount of sterlings, like the bidding quickly reaches 20 into the 20s worth of sterling before it's finally sold.
Look around at the people at the auction. Are any of them, they look like they're high class, wealthy people that we would know? Like, you know, when I was in with the Dunlands, you know, the wealthier class, are anybody there that I recognize?
Roll me, I guess, a straight history.
10.
As you surmise, definitely everybody here does look very, very well dressed, clearly draped in like finest clothing, very expensive looking, and it seems that each of them certainly have the means to spend hundreds, if not thousands, of gold at an auction place like this. And kind of from your vantage point, again, the room is quite large and there's very many people here. You don't pick out any particular person that you would immediately recognize, but you certainly like know their type and like the type, you know, the quote unquote class of people here that would certainly be people in the echelons of rubbing shoulders with other guild members, like that tier of nobility, for again lack of a better term.
My assumption is these are items that were acquired in some way, maybe in the black market, because they don't have these numbers on them and they're not official.
Right.
So they're like the rich, wealthy, you know, buying the artwork that we're not going to ask where it came from.
Well, do we know that they're magical? I mean, I guess. We assume.
And Nico also mentioned, like, if you have something you want sold, you can bring it here and it can be put up for auction as well. So from that and kind of the conversation, like, you overheard the two workers having as they're going through, like, clearly they get a lot of stuff submitted to them for auction, and not all of it is considered to be up to par for the auction based on the clientele that you're witnessing here making bids.
Well, that's why there's the storage room full of junk, or whatever.
It's obviously an invitation-only auction.
Based on kind of the skeptical look the doorman outside of the buyer's market gave you when you said before Zalmo's intervention that you were here for business, yeah, you certainly need to be in the know to get that green chip, basically. And that was part of what Zalmo's presentation here was, right? You four are now in the know on now being under Zalmo's
Green
employ.
chips. Green chips.
Like that.
Green
That's
chips,
part of the
chips.
reputational benefit, right? That was part of this contract as well.
Guys, we have stuff without mins. Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? I mean, I'm barefoot, but the boots, things like that, right?
You wanting to sell them?
I mean, we could. If we see something else cooler.
We want to keep our stuff.
That's fine, too. That's good.
Well, I assume tomorrow night we're going to have to show up in just our regular clothes and none of our stuff, right? We're going into jail, so...
People wear boots in jail, right? And, like, circlets, right? Right?
What is the attire in prison when we've been in there?
You could certainly question Hellcrook from his time, and I guess Rumpke, you've had an overnight stay in a cell, right? You haven't been like incarcerated for any length of time, but Hellcrook knows that it's a simple like overshirt and pants and basically like cloth boots, like slippers essentially is what they'll give you.
Opal, yeah, we won't be bringing any of our own possessions in there, unfortunately.
What about our necklace, Hellcrook?
Yeah, well, Kylie, I think you're going to have to put that somewhere safe for the time being while we're doing this job.
Yeah, somebody else in prison might take a liking to it if they see it and take it from it.
Opal, could we leave it at your house?
Your necklace? Yeah, sure.
We don't have anywhere else to put it.
Well, we're gonna have our own house soon.
Not
But I guess
tomorrow
not in
night.
time.
No, you have immediate access to the home. It's just as per noted in the contract. You just need to give Zalmo 5 days to fully furnish it. So there's an empty house out there waiting for you to go to. You go to right now.
Yeah, he doesn't need to furnish it if we're all dead.
Well, that's.
Why
do you think the 5-day clause is in there? Why do you think?
Metagaming.
The 5-day clause is standard with Zalmo contracts. Saves him a ton of money.
Yeah, anytime he offers any type of housing, always wait 5 days for them to survive, and then you throw the furniture.
Kylie, would you feel better if we hid it in the maze? I'll put my stuff there too if you want.
How secure is that, really? Somebody else had found your spot.
Now we got Manny on it.
Opal, I was kind of thinking one of the most secure places that we have access to might be Toggles and Sprockets.
Yeah. Okay. My parents have a safe.
Even just, somewhere in your house. Doesn't have to be in the safe, but...
Yeah, but like really expensive small things, like her necklace, can go in the safe. That's fine.
We would feel much better.
Yeah, I'll make it work. Mom's a reasonable lady. If you brought in a customer, it might be better for you, but we'll figure it out. Micah would love you forever. Let Micah think it's his customer that he pestered, Make his day.
Yeah, we'll walk back in. Mike will be holding a snow globe, a platinum ring, wearing a winter crown, and making people buy stuff so he doesn't kill
He's
them.
got a rod stretched up to 10 feet, knocking face. Just swacking people.
After retrieving your personal items from the storage trunk, at the top of the stairs at the green door where where the barred off storage area is, right? And confirming, of course, that everything has in fact been returned to you. I'm not sure if any of you would be wholly familiar with, how a bag of holding would work, but essentially these trunks work the same way. You kind of think of the item you want to retrieve, you think of your own possessions, and they pull right out of them, basically. But you each discover that an additional item has been added to your belongings, one for each of you. You find a 4-inch iron key. It's got a large circle at one end, like you could put on a ring or attach to a belt, and 4 beveled bits that protrude from kind of the center pin that are in the shape of a plus sign. You've gotten a key, presumably to your new home. And as you continue to pass through the pleasure side of the buyer's market, you notice that since you had arrived in the few hours you've been here, that a few city guards have also filtered in, presumably for the red chip service, as they've sat themselves down at tables and are conversing with a number of the patrons. Really only recognizable because they're still in their like dark green and that pale yellow colored armor that they wear. But as you leave, you're not stopped by anybody. Everyone's kind of doing their own business at their tables. Again, that kind of low murmur of conversation as there's no music that plays at the buyer's market.
Okay. We head out into the street. It's nighttime, I guess, so we sort of gather around the lamppost, I guess. So, it's getting late. I'm not gonna get a drink or anything. I gotta go home and get some shut-eye.
Yeah, I want to be well rested. Don't know how long this job's gonna keep us in there, and I want to be prepared.
So, tomorrow you want to, bring all our stuff here that we're gonna sort of take that to Opal's place? Hold on to it for safekeeping while we're locked up?
If it would be better, we could put all of the stuff inside Seychelles Doll's bottle, and it could be hidden there. And that way, Opal, your parents won't know what all we have.
Yeah, they don't know that we still have it, right? They thought we turned it back in.
Plus all the extra stuff that Zalmo just gave us.
Right.
All that stuff's gonna fit in a bottle?
Yeah, how does that work?
Oh, we can take anything we want inside there, and it just stays.
Sort of like that chest we just put our stuff in.
Sorta, yeah. I guess. But we have to go back in to get it.
Seychelles knows I don't like her. Is she gonna, keep my items from me?
Why would she? She likes you. Yes, I like you very much.
Will you give me my stuff back if I put it in your bottle?
Of course I would.
Okay.
I have no need for your trinkets.
I think that's a very good idea, actually. We can avoid Opal's parents asking questions about all these items we have. It's these weapons, these magical things. They're gonna think something up if we've got all the unmarked goods. You know, another thing. We don't know how long we're gonna be in there for. What are we gonna tell? Oh boy, you'll need to tell your parents that you're might be gone for a day or so, and...
Yeah, what's, the upper range you guys are thinking this will take? Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can pop in, pop out, bada bing, bada boom, be out of there in a day. What I hope. I mean, if we got the guards on our side, we know where the guy is that the happy part's going to be a little bit of a problem, possibly.
Yeah, I really don't want to be spending more than a day in there, but I think I'll need to tell Leanne that I'll be taking at least one day off work. I'm just not quite sure what I'll tell him I'm doing.
Yeah, I think I'll tell him at the Bash and Clash I'm going to be out a few days. Visit family or something. They don't know. They don't pay any attention.
Yeah, I'll just tell him I'm going camping with Kylia, though. Then we're both gone. Yeah.
We don't have to tell anybody anything.
That's awesome. You're independent. I love it.
Yeah, Zalmo's the one who's sending us, so he already knows.
Look at you smiling.
Okay, so you like to kind of depart then for the night, and then meet up back at Toggles and Sprockets, or you want to meet up back at your house, or what do you want to do?
Well, we all meet up here at the Toggles and Sprockets. We'll meet there tomorrow about, say, 9 o'clock before it gets too dark. Put all the stuff in a bottle, grab something to eat before we go into prison.
Why wouldn't we just meet at a restaurant then?
But she's got to put the bottle in your place.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do need to put the bottle in the safe. Okay, it'll be part of the camping trip. We don't want to break it because we're going to be rock climbing, and so we need to put it in the safe because it was your mother's necklace. Okay, Kylia? That's the story.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Nothing. That works.
All right, sounds like a plan. See you losers later.
Bye.
I walk off.
Good night, Hellcrack. Good night, Rumkey.
Get some good rest, everyone.
Good night, Opal.
Night.
Okay, so of course you all make it to your respective homes. Kylie, I assume you're going to go back to the castle?
Back to the castle for one last night to say goodbye to everybody.
Okay, great. Then you'll have the next morning and into the late afternoon to, again, tie up any potential loose ends you may have. Like you all discussed, you don't really know how long this might take and how long you might be, quote-unquote, away. So certainly anything that can be wrapped up in a few hours, you definitely have the time to do so.
We'll go check out the keep before we go meet up with everybody, just to see where it is, because we're not as familiar with that area, and just to see what the house looks like.
Well, it's on the way, right? It's in the den.
Yeah.
Someone can walk by it. I probably wouldn't. Because I want to see the furniture. So why bother now?
Well, I guess as we're walking back, Hellcrook and I are going the same direction. Say, hey, how about in the morning, lunchtime or so, we hook up there at the new place, check it out before we head out.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was hoping to take a peek on the way tomorrow back over here.
Sounds like a plan. You know where it's at?
Sort of. I think so. Yeah. I know the address, so I'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah. You gotta turn down the I can't remember what the name of the road is. It's the one that's got the big building that's sort of got red on it. You know what I'm talking about? The big red stripe?
Yeah.
Yeah, go down that way, and then you turn down there. It's a nice place.
All right, well, yeah, so noon tomorrow. I'll be there.
Sounds like a good plan. Right after breakfast.
Sure.
Okay, we can fast forward to that then right now. So, Hellcrack, what are you telling Lehan about this extended absence?
I'm going camping with Kalia and Opal.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that might actually work. Kalia and Opal are going on a camping trip, and they invited me to come along and help carry some stuff, cut some wood. And I would also probably stop off to the new hires and just say, hey, I won't be able to help out for possibly a day. You'll have to kind of pick up the slack. This will be a good opportunity to put what you've learned into practice, take a little bit more responsibility on while I'm gone for a day.
Yeah, Lehan seems amenable to that, as you've got quite a number of accrued vacation days that you don't spend. So
Right. Yeah.
And with the new hires and the time that you have put in with them, because again, you've had upwards almost 2 weeks with them already. So as far as the services being provided to the city with Lehan carriages, like everything is back up to where it was pre-Founders Day explosion and incidents. So definitely not a problem with that. And so, Rumkey, how about you? What kind of fights did you have upcoming? Did you have to cancel some fights?
Yeah, I got to cancel a fight in about 3 days. I'm going to make it back after that. I'm going to tell them I got a side gig as a bodyguard for some campers. Pays really well.
Opal also sticking with the camping story that I see. That is the cover for the party.
I
is that they're
started the
just
story.
going camping. Hey,
Yeah.
You may want to deviate.
I'm pretty sure I remember Hellcrook being the one who mentioned it first, but...
What? It was me and Kalia, and you weren't supposed to join. But you're just going to be there now.
Shouldn't have talked about it in front of us. Now we're coming along.
I didn't.
Just wait till you get the bill.
Okay. So the following day, this will be April 22nd, about noon or so. Hellcrook and Rumkey kind of meet up at your new place, the Keep, as referenced in the contract that you all signed. And as surmised by Rumkey, while you were reviewing the contract at the buyer's market, judging by the address, the houses on Crow's Lane are kind of remarkably upscale compared to the rest of the denizen. Now, obviously, the denizen in general has a kind of ceiling as far as, chic building construction and extravagant sizes of them comes, as, again, the point of the denizen is to be densely populated, right, and offer buildings with high density housing. But I mean, you've kind of seen firsthand, again, especially Rumkey and Hellcrook being the most familiar with the denizen, you've seen firsthand the state of many of the dwellings that are kind of deeper into the district, right? I mean, just the Trinity was holed up on a seemingly half-abandoned block, right? They were nestled in between abandoned and run-down homes, and Bordel's Orphanage was only remaining in the state of this kind of semi-repair due to their, of course, generous benefactor in Zalmo, as you came to learn. But it does seem that the Keep also benefits from routine maintenance. So before the two of you kind of stands a detached 2-story building. Looks like it's constructed of bricks. They've been painted kind of a dark gray. Paint is a little peeling in a few spots, but still the bricks themselves look to be in structurally sound condition. There's a flight of stone steps that kind of ascend to a small 5 by 10 foot stoop that leads to large wooden double doors. And the front entrance enters and rises up to the top floor, so the second floor. And the face of this building, you can see the front of it's kind of got 4 windows, one on either side of the entrance on both stories. So it's almost split in the middle by this staircase. The bottom floor looks to be like half underground, so it doesn't stand 2 stories above the street, but maybe like a story and a half, right? So it's kind of that sunken in type of construction. There's 2 additional smaller stairs that descend down to this lower floor. and they kind of meet in this like 5 foot by 5 foot landing that's below the main staircase and the big double doors. So there's kind of 2 entrances to the front of this home. The stairs, all sets of stairs, are kind of lined by like ornate black wrought iron railings, and there's kind of matching curvature in the design of this iron coverings that provide additional security for each of the windows. So the windows are all they're technically barred, but like they look kind of fancy. You know, they're not just a set of iron bars stuck in front of these windows here. And if you were to ascend the steps, you would find that the keys you found in your belongings at the buyer's market fit into, you could try them on both doors, and they seem to be the same lock for these keys.
Okay. I go up the steps, try my key, open it up, sort of hold the door open for help cooking. After you.
Oh, why, thank you, fellow homeowner. Roommate, I guess you could say.
Yeah, look at this place.
Quite nice. Wow.
So inside you kind of find the floors are this like worn but really well treated hardwood that seems to be throughout this house. You know, as you're stepping in, your footsteps are echoing off of this, you know, mostly empty main room. But basically in the kind of entry foyer and immediately in front of you, you see there's been placed a small like wooden folding table. Like they're about the size of the tables like you would find at the buyer's market. Really only large enough for like a few, you know, 4 or 5 glasses of to hold, right? But on top of this table certainly aren't mugs filled with alcohol, but you see a rolled up piece of parchment and next to a thick stack of bound pages that kind of lie flat like a book.
Take a look at them.
What's that?
What? What are you doing here?
We thought we'd check out the house. What is that?
Papers.
Oh, hi, Carly. And say Chodell. Welcome. Isn't this nice?
It is. It's very nice. Did you pick out your rooms yet?
No. This is as far as we made it, actually.
What do the papers say?
So if you unfurl these parchment, you will find it's kind of a cluster of pages together. 5 pages, 4 of which are identical copies of the contracts that each of you signed. Presumably, again, 1 for each of you to keep as on your own records. And the 5th page looks like it is further instructions from Zalmo. And it reads, shortly before midnight on April 22nd, which is, of course, the current day, after you've slept through the night, as discussed, you will meet with Officer Nedbull at the northernmost dock of Storm Cape Bay. You will be provided with a map around the cove, your prisoner garb and identities, and a boat to get you to your destination. Once you've infiltrated Storm's End, Nedbull will carry out the doctor transfer pages, escorting you to Benito Algator's cell block. Benito Algator is the former guildmaster of the now defunct Prowlers Guild. Imprisoned for 2 decades, I have no doubt he will be anxious to get out, to rebuild his guild's influence in Stormcape after all these years. Once you have found Algator, Nedbull has instructions to leave you a set of prison keys. You will need to find your way back to your infiltration point, bringing him to the keep and sending word to the castle. Should you be caught in this endeavor, you will have failed in your task, and the prepared release papers will be utilized to extract each of you from this self-imposed imprisonment. I needn't remind each of you that failure only pulls the constable further out of your grasp and Algator out of mine. Benito still has many friends in Stormcape and many more enemies. It is vitally important that he is extracted as quietly as possible and with as few people noticing as possible to ensure Algator arrives at the keep unharmed. Yours in patronship, Zalmo. P.S. Be sure to mark any requested furniture items, as well as collecting your prorated payment for the month of April. And exactly like the invitations that you received to the dinner a few nights ago, this parchment, about a minute after being read, it harmlessly combusts into a plume of black smoke that quickly dissipates, leaving no trace of the message.
The 4 copies of the contract?
Simply the note from Zalmo.
The note. Okay.
Your contracts persist.
You said he was the former guildmaster of...
The Prowlers Guild.
Which is now defunct.
Yes, that is the headquarters that was uncovered by the fire, the ceaseless fire that's producing the green smoke that continues, the ever-burning fire. And the book, you can see right from its title, it is a book titled The Chopper's Shoppers. And it is a catalog full of furniture. There's carts, wagons, ships of all sizes, even like schematics for homes available for purchase within this catalog. And you would each know that the Choppers Guild, basically the woodcutters of the city, anything constructed from wood, is pretty much available for purchase from the Choppers Guild, who are predominantly they're predominantly in charge. Like their main duties are harvesting the tireless gladewood, and again under the tutelage of the Arcanist Academia, they maintain the lunar lamps that keep the forest in check and stop it from overrunning the city. There is, of course, members of the Choppers. If they have the Carpenter rank, they're all incredibly skilled. Takes years to even gain that rank within the guild, and they supply the city with these crafted, like handcrafted wooden items, as well as shipping off some of this work to the rest of Santa as kind of exports for the city, in addition to exporting the majority of the collected gladewood. So essentially, as noted in Zalmo's little note to you, you can flip through, find any furniture you might like, and then circle it for him to basically acquire to help furnish the keep for you.
Are there curtains, or are there things in the house already? Like, are there ways we can draw the curtains shut so people can't see in currently, or is it a completely empty home?
It does see there are some threadbare curtains still hanging in the windows, but the rest of the house does appear to be entirely empty. If you were to explore, you'd find kind of the main set of interior stairs that connects each floor at the very back of the house, where the bedrooms are also located. 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs. They each kind of are across from the hall from each other on either side of the staircase on their respective floors. The only other bits of furniture you find within the home are some very simplistic bedrolls in each of the bedrooms. On the bedrolls are a coin pouch, and you'll each find 20 gold pieces. There are 4 pouches, one for each of you. 20 gold pieces in each, payment for basically the 10 days that you will now be employed for the month of April.
Riley is going to grab the book, the Chopper Shopper, and start walking around the house. Oh, this will be really nice. Oh, look at this table. We need this table. Oh, we can get a plant to put on this stand. Look how marvelous this stand is. She's like across the room holding up the book so you guys can almost see what's on the page. And then she starts going, just circling like crazy and walking around through the different rooms. Like, this would be perfect here. We need this here. No, not that one. Go to the next page. That's the next. No, that one. That would be perfect.
That's my room there. I'm taking that one. It's the bottom floor. That's where I'm going to put my weights. That's where I'm going to put all my other stuff over here. You do whatever you want to the rest of the house. This place is mine.
Are you sure you don't want this? Look at this plant stand.
Nah, I don't need to kill plants.
Okay. We bet Opal would love it.
There are a few other things that you find in here. They would have been with the parchment and the catalog. You see 8 very ornately constructed like wooden boxes, all of varying sizes. They're just kind of neatly stacked up next to the stool with the books and the pages. And again, opening them, you'll just find each of them contains magic items that were the signing bonuses. As Zalmo had said, they were delivered to the home this morning.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have to take all this stuff, put it in your bottle, along with the keys. Can't take those into prison with us. We don't want to have them laying around. Unless you want to hide one somewhere. Think there's someplace outside we could hide it, like a loose brick or something?
We can look.
Yeah, let's go see if we can find something. Hillcrook, make sure nobody's watching us.
Okay, I'll do my best. Let's look around back. Maybe around back of the house.
Yeah. Is there a door going out the back?
There is a back door, yes. It looks out towards the slanted slipway. Not that you can see the road itself, because there are still a number of houses between you and it, but of course the slanted is the major road that runs through the denizen.
So if we go out the back, is there like opportunities for people around us to be looking out their window and seeing us in the backyard type of thing?
Yes, despite how lavish this building is compared to much of the rest of the denizen, there's still kind of a distinct lack of privacy while you're out on the street and not behind closed curtains and closed doors.
Okay. Is the staircase like made of stone, or is basically looking for something, a loose stone or something that we might be able to hide this key?
Yeah, absolutely. You can certainly find a spot like underneath the main staircase, where you would descend to enter the lower floor. You can see that the bottom of it is all like layers of stone slabs basically to build this staircase. And you can absolutely find a little crevice to hide at least one key.
Yeah, I'll put mine in here. I sort of slide it. Pull the little rock out. There's like 6 other keys in there. Oh, this is not a good one. No, put it in there and sort of try to conceal it. All right, this is where that one is.
Why don't you give me a sleight of hand, and we'll see how well you conceal it, and I'll just make a note for the future.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh! 3.
Oh, no.
No, Rumkey, that's no
I hang
good.
it on a nail.
Rumkey, that's no good. Somebody will find that in a second.
You leave it in the log.
Here, let us do it. We can do it better.
Kylie, you can please, give me.
Nobody will think to look in the lock.
21.
Nice.
The 21 to conceal a key. Okay, great.
See? You can't even see it now, can you? And you even know where it is.
That's a lot better. Yeah, I guess you could sort of see it before, couldn't you?
Sorta, yeah, a lot.
So, I was, when I was asked to keep a lookout, I actually decided to go up to the upper floor and look out. Did you say there are windows up there?
Yeah, there are.
What's the top floor like? Is it bedrooms mostly, bathrooms?
Yeah, so on both floors, remember the main entrance comes to the upper floor, so the back half of both floors are just bedrooms, and then the front half look like they're more like empty living areas and like kitchen-esque area, what serves as a washroom in however the hell that functions in Stormcave City.
Okay.
Certainly, obviously, a sewer system in which is utilized for that type of stuff. It also looks like both floors are kind of near identical in the layouts, as if they could be split like a duplex, essentially.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so we were sort of already on the top floor, if you want to call it that. All right. Well, I'll come back out to meet them, having fully explored all the house.
Did you see anybody?
No, I don't think so. It didn't look like there were too many nosy neighbors around. Did you find a good spot?
Yeah, Kylie did.
Look under there. See if you can see it.
Under where?
The stairs.
Oh, okay.
I'll go down. Do you want me to make a check of some sort?
Yes, please. Make me an investigation check, please.
10.
Well, the first place you look is in the lock of the door. You don't find anything there. And then you examine the stonework and cannot find a trace of a movable stone or where this thing could be secreted away. And you will need Kylia to specifically point it out to you so you know where it is.
Where is it? I can't find it anywhere.
It's hidden. It's good. It's probably best that you don't know.
Oh?
Well, in case you get beat up in prison or something.
Oh.
But doesn't he need the key to get into his own house if he gets locked out? What if we all are stuck in prison and he gets out and he needs to come to the house? He's got to know where the key is.
He better get us out then, shouldn't he?
For real though, if Kylia's... Anyway, if something happens to me to get into the safe and Kylia's necklace or anything, you gotta get us out.
Well, Kylie and Seishodal, I will certainly... I don't think that's going to happen. We're all going to get out, but I would not forget you in there. I would do anything I could to get you out.
Especially now.
Yeah, I guess. I do kind of agree with Rumkey. Might be a good idea for all of us to know where it is, just in case.
Rumkey knows. He could show you.
You can hide your key someplace too, Hellcrook. You don't tell anybody where it's at.
Probably best we don't talk about it anymore right now in case somebody does happen by. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'll stick to the plan, and we'll keep the rest of the keys hidden at Toggles and Sprockets.
Okay, I guess we'll just sort of hang out, looking around the place, going through the catalog. You know, if you want to call Opal up, I guess I've got one to Opal, the Sending Stone, so I could send her a message. Hey! Ring ring!
Do I hear it if it's a ring ring and not a ba-dam-bam?
He's saying ring ring.
Hello?
This thing ain't working. Ba-da-bop. Oh yeah, I forgot I had to hold it in a certain way. Hey Opal,
Yeah, what's up?
what you doing?
Just packing up my camping gear. Gotta make it look believable.
Hey, we're at the house. You wanna come check it out? We got some time.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
We picked you out the coolest, neat little dresser and plant stand. You'll really love them.
Okay. Do we have rooms by each other?
Yeah, because Rumkey took the one downstairs and we're making Hellcruck take the other one downstairs, so we'll both be upstairs.
I don't think I need to be on this potty line anymore. Goodbye.
Did Rumkey just say potty? Potty line?
We don't usually know what Rumkey says. Are you gonna be able to come to the house?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay, see you in a little bit.
Bye.
You all are gonna do wonderfully in prison.
You don't hear that often.
Opal arrives at the keep, and you kind of take in everything that was described before.
I will put my camping gear somewhere in my room so I don't have to keep lugging it around.
Okay.
Are we like circling stuff in the magazine?
Exactly right. Yep, that's exactly
Okay.
right.
But yeah, Opal legit, like, packed some of her stuff up, too, because she hasn't really broken the news about moving yet, so just kind of slowly sneaking.
All right, yeah. How are Opal's parents going to handle that?
They're gonna love it. It's fine. More room for them.
You're gonna both sigh and say, "Finally."
Only 7 more kids to go.
Yeah, could you take some of your siblings with you?
So, hey, I was thinking, we gotta get this Benita guy out, right? And then we gotta bring him back here to the keep. So, is there any way we can get, like,
Wait, how do you know they want him at the keep?
Oh, there was a note here, but it sort of burst into flames. Sorry.
What? So now I have to just trust everything you guys tell me? That's
No, you
fine.
don't have to.
You don't trust us?
I do. Okay, fine. So we're supposed to take this Benito back here to our house?
Bring him here. So I was thinking if we could get one of them carriages and sort of take it up where we're going to get out of the boat, then we can sort of stuff him inside one of those carriages and bring him all the way back here without, like, walking down the street with the guy.
Are you planning on incapacitating this fellow? He could probably walk or sit.
Or ride in the carriage. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have used the word stuff.
You talked about lugging and shoving his body in a carriage.
I didn't say lugging, I said shoving.
All right.
But to make you happy, we'll let him easily get inside the carriage. Just cover him up with something.
I'm just saying we should have some confidence in ourselves that we can all walk out of the place. Positive thinking.
But he has enemies, Zalmo said in the letter that burned up, and probably shouldn't be seen outside the prison.
Right, yeah. Like, if the city guards know that he's supposed to be in prison and they see him walking the streets, that could be trouble.
No, it's fine with the carriage. I'm just saying we don't have to, like, wrap the body and shove anything.
Poor choice of words.
You keep saying the body, but
Somehow, you're killing him. I was just,
I was just tying him up.
You okay there? You okay there, Opal? You seem well choked up now. You alright? Yeah, slap her on the back. You okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so let's assume that we all get out of there okay, and we need to sneaky get back here to the keep. Can you get one of them carriages and, I don't know, a horse or something, I guess, to pull it?
yeah, actually, that's a great idea, Rumkey. I suppose I've got a little bit of extra pocket change. I could hire a carriage for the day.
How do you know when to call it, though? Because it's on the way back, and we don't know how long it's gonna take.
Let's just pay one of them kids there to stay there until we're ready.
To sit?
Yeah. I mean, if things work out pretty good, we can go in and get this guy and be out in a day. Like you said, be positive.
And if things don't go pretty good?
Then he gets more money because he gets to sit there longer. I mean, most kids like sitting around doing nothing anyway.
Yeah, I think we stick to, we're not going to be in there for more than a day. This plan will work because the carriage is not going to need to be there for very long.
Alright, you got a good guy in mind?
We could ask Benny. He wouldn't be missed for a day or two.
What's his going rate? Can we afford him?
We could probably actually get him pretty cheap because he doesn't have an area yet. So he's mostly looking for something to do most of the time. So we imagine if we gave him, like, I don't know, 5 silver, he'd be happy as a clam.
Good. Sounds like a good deal.
Day.
You get the carriage, you get the kid.
Okay.
And I get the necklace? Are we doing this now?
I think maybe we should put some weapons in the carriage just in case we have to get out and things get hairy. We can at least have something that we can get to. Maybe a dagger or something.
And the carriages just aren't going to be used while we're gone? Like,
Will Lehan be okay with that, Hellcrook?
Well, that's what I was saying. I could pay to actually hire a carriage instead of just...
What you talking about, Hellcrook? You own the place almost.
Well, yeah,
Just
but
tell him you're taking one of them.
sort of like I think he'll appreciate it if I don't try and take advantage and take a carriage out of the rotation for the day. Maybe more than a day. No, it's not going to be more than a day.
definitely not. Nope. Think positive.
What's that gonna cost us?
Oh, it's not too much. Don't worry. I'll pay for it.
Just get one of the older, cheaper ones.
If we pay for a kid, he just sits there, and then when we get there, he just runs for a carriage. Yeah, we'd have to leave a carriage sitting there. Very suspicious.
Leland, how much does hiring a carriage cost for one day?
A whole day isn't generally done, but a ride on the carriages, costs probably less than a silver. Like, they're fairly affordable, as they're supposed to be for the entire city. Now, that is if you are taking a carriage from, like, carriage station A to any other carriage station B. You can obviously pay more to have them deliver you anywhere accessible on the major roads, as any of the minor roads are not quite large enough to bring a carriage
The
down.
more complicated this answer is becoming, the more I'm worried for my pocketbook.
So, less than a gold a day for sure. You'd be able to hire, quote unquote, hire a carriage for the whole day, essentially.
We can afford that.
Yeah, you like easily affordable, especially with what you're making from Zalmo, and obviously the prorated 20 gold for the month of April you've already received. And keep in mind, you have 30 gold pieces essentially as a slush fund to pay for additional expenses that are
The
to be
retainer.
Oh.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So we're hiring this carriage for 2 weeks. We'll just return it early.
We're gonna be smelling
I
right.
can see Lehan's carriage service becoming quite profitable.
Why don't you just tell Lehan that you're using it for a Trinity delivery? See what he says.
No, I don't think so. I'll tell him that, we're going camping, but we're, not really roughing it so much.
Just tell him we're definitely not lugging any bodies.
We're glamping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. Because
Glamping.
blame it on Opal. Say I want to expand my mineral collection, and we're gonna go hunting for different flowers and seeds, and it's too much to carry.
That's a really good idea, Opal. I think that he'll believe that. Yeah.
He's not too smart, is he?
Well, either way, it's a carriage that's making money all day. That's great for the business. He's not gonna care.
Yeah, then the people that would be driving that carriage, that don't need to drive that carriage, can now replace you in shoveling the poop.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Seems like some type of plan is forming here. Now, where exactly do you want to position this carriage? So, you've kind of been instructed to meet at kind of the northernmost part of the bay, right? Which is kind of past the majority of the docks, and kind of nestled in like against the plateau, the cliff face that the plateau sits upon, right? As the plateau is the kind of highfalutin district, and it sits like 500 or 600 feet above sea level, right? So there's certainly the major road, like Exporter Street, kind of runs all the way along the bay, basically, right? To give access to moving goods around as they're coming off of the ships. So kind of next to the storage system north, that also borders that street, you could position you put a wagon up there on Exporter Street, like right at the northernmost end where it kind of hits that cliff face if you wanted. Keep in mind that you would each know there's a guard tower kind of the southwest corner of that storage district that specifically services like patrolling of the both districts in which the majority of the city's goods are housed and stored. So there's certainly like a police presence around that area. You definitely know about that. Again, each of you know like these guard towers, they're along the outer wall of the city, and they're almost like a relic of times past, of more violent times where there was actual like physical threat to the limits of the city, either from creatures or other inhabitants surrounding the city, like the giants that live out there. Now it's more like, okay, this is where guards are stationed to look after the wall in that area. And it's almost like a position that like doesn't even need to exist because there hasn't been that type of threat to the city in the centuries, right? But that's essentially what they serve as. Aside from the few that are within the city, obviously these storage districts are very important to the city and how goods are stored and the flow of goods and etc. like for the commerce of the city in general. So they're very important districts and are a heavy guard. I don't want to say heavy. There's definitely a guard presence within those districts.
I would suggest that we tell Benny to show up probably midday the next day, because there's no reason for him to be there right when we leave, and have him come, and then every couple hours he just takes a cart, does a loop around someplace so he's not sitting there the whole time.
You want Benny to drive the horse carriage?
Yeah, can't Benny
Isn't that what you
do
said?
that?
Benny's never been around horses before.
I thought you volunteered your guy.
To sit.
Yeah, if he's not, I don't want him wrecking the place, destroying a carriage if he doesn't know how to handle horses.
We actually think he's afraid of horses.
Okay, then scratch Benny. Who can you trust, Hellcrack?
Well, no, Benny might work, but it just means we have to leave the carriage parked.
Why pay 2 people when we can pay 1?
We don't want to leave it parked because somebody might get suspicious. We gotta have it move around, and if Benny's gonna go plowing into somebody, that's gonna draw attention. That ain't no good.
No, I don't like the sounds of that at all. It took a while to rebuild after the last little bit of chaos that wrecked all our carriages. Well, I don't know. I think Leanne might be a bit annoyed if I take one of our new hires off work for the day, too. It's the only person I can think of, though.
I mean, I could ask Frank to do it. I mean, he doesn't do a lot. The problem with Frank is he might fall asleep in the back. But, he'll do it for the cheap.
What if we got Frank and Benny? And Benny could keep Frank awake so Frank could drive the carriage around.
Boy, this is becoming expensive.
Yeah, I don't know if I want Frank talking to Benny.
But they could be Frank and Beans.
Oh dear. Freaking beans. Okay, explain the prison entrance again. Like, is there a bridge that I'm seeing, or is it a road where someone could like occasionally drive by it, check if we're there?
Because you have yet to receive the map from Oln about where you're actually going to be entering, keep in mind you've been told you need a boat to access it. So for sure it's not anywhere on the mainland. You can presume that's going to be somewhere around the cliff, right? That you go up to hit the northern part of the landmass and it faces the open ocean. So you can presume it's going to be somewhere around there that you have to boat out to actually access.
Do we know anyone that owns a boat? hide them out in a boat and leave till we're pretty far from any guard towers, get away from the storage area, right? Go south a little bit.
It would have to be a pretty big boat to fit a horse and a carriage on it.
I'm saying that our escape is the same as the way in, right? So we're gonna be in a boat. We can hop to another boat. Do we know anyone with a boat?
Well, the problem is we got to get Benito from
to the
coastline.
Keep. It doesn't
to
mean
the
that
keep.
we need to go to the closest coastline to the prison when we're breaking out.
Why wouldn't we go to the fastest way to get back to the keep?
Why wouldn't we just go to the docks in front of frickin' what's his Zalmo's house?
Zalmo's house? That's halfway down the city.
Yeah, where they wouldn't see us. And where a carriage could be predictably kept.
I mean, it's more time in the boat, but you might have a good point there.
Do you know a mermaid? A triton?
We would still have to go through the storage area either way. We couldn't get through the desolate domain.
So, as Opal was kind of saying, there is further south along the bay. Obviously, during the day and when the visibility is high, obviously, the bay is very busy with ships coming and going. So, if you were to exit the prison in the daylight, that may be a little more trickier, trying to take your little boat through the bay, the busy bay, right, and get to the actual shore. But come nighttime, obviously the activity, there's no activity, right? No one's out there sailing at night. But if you look at storage system south, which is, again, south of the desolate domain, there is a wagon station positioned right at the tip of storage system south. So that would be kind of your closest station to the water for sure. And again, if you get there, Helcra can certainly inform you that the carriages stop running at midnight, right? They basically run from 6 a.m. to midnight. So if you can get there after nightfall, but before midnight, you could probably catch a carriage right from there and take it to wherever you want to go, right? And as you said, you're not catching a carriage with a dead body. You're hopefully catching a carriage with someone who's cooperative and wanting to be with you. So it's not like you have a captive or anything that you're trying to usher into this carriage, right? So that's a good suggestion from Opal for sure.
Compared to how fast would we imagine that we'd be traveling across that entire bay via boat? Like, is that going to take a really long time? Because if it's going to take like hours and hours, that could be pretty risky.
So each of the squares is 200 feet. You can walk 300 feet in a minute. So every 3 squares, it will take you 2 minutes of transit. It's definitely you won't be able to row your boat that quickly. So, it's not going to take you like 6 hours to take your rowboat into the bay, right? Like maybe an hour and a half, depending on currents and how fast you're able to move the boat. Again, you should have enough time before nightfall, and then the wagons the carriages cease running. It might be tight, but that is definitely a possibility.
How unusual would it be for people to see what they're going to see with us rowing across the bay in this little boat? Is that fairly common sight, or are we going to stick out like a sore thumb?
The bay has all sizes of boats. On the bay is the Anglers Hall, which they're kind of like the fishing guild, and they again have like a assorted fleet of boat sizes. They have individual fishermen that will go out there in like a little rowboat, which sounds like something similar that you're going to be supplied with. So there's definitely like a large variety of boat sizes that kind of occupy Stormcade Bay at any given time. And again, like I said, though, in the middle of the night, ideally you're not going to be running into anybody, as the docks there's not dock workers working through the night in the pitch black, right? You wouldn't offload a large cargo ship when there's very, very low visibility in the middle of the night. So again, the point would be slip in under nightfall, hopefully just come up on shore, get into the city without really being seen.
You keep talking about when the wagons get stored away. Is it that we're gonna hope that it's after midnight and we borrow a wagon? Are they stored there, or do they go home to the carriages at night?
All the carriages are kept overnight at Lehan's Carriage Services.
So they will leave. Okay.
Correct. So
that is a smaller window. Yeah.
Again, though, you could kind of merge both these plans, potentially pay someone to be at that station. So there's definitely not strange that a wagon would be staying at one of these wagon stations, right? At all. It could be parked there all day and it wouldn't draw any attention.
Pay Benny to stay there overnight. Hellcrook can drive. We're not gonna lose you, right, bud?
Yeah. And then the other thing is anyone allowed to go fishing? Like, if we bring some fishing gear as sort of like an alibi if we get stopped. Oh, we're out here fishing. Is that unusual?
No, not at all.
All right, sounds like a good plan.
How high are the cliffs around that little island where the lighthouse is in the cemetery?
That side of the bay is definitely lower, probably maybe only like 300 or 400 feet compared to the plateau at like 500 to 700 at its
Still
highest.
too much to climb.
It would be probably a very difficult climb, yes. They're quite sheer cliffs.
You know, it would mean we would be in the boat a lot further distance, but if we wanted somewhere we could park the carriage and it wouldn't be suspicious for it to be parked all day. There is a carriage station further south down the shore. Quite a ways further south, but, you know, that's an option.
Yeah, it sounds good to me as long as we have a carriage to get the guy in, get him back here to the keep.
To know oneself is to know true strength. Oh, excuse me, I didn't see you there. Don't mind the meditations of my mind. For now we must bid farewell. But fear not, the journey continues at incorrigibleparty.com. There's also a new World Anvil page to explore the world of Senta and all its wonders. These enchanting melodies you've heard come from tabletopaudio.com and Sarastro Music. Please accept my invitation to join our Discord server, and we shall forge bonds as strong as a tall oak, and share tales that echo throughout the halls. Lastly, I humbly beseech you, like, rate, review, and spread the word of our adventures across the realms. Tell a friend, a comrade, or even a foe. And until we meet again, may your dice be blessed with fortune, and your cup filled with ale. Happy adventuring.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.